Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to start giving the welcome today to our sisters and brothers. So welcome everybody to our new portion. Today we're going to be finishing the book of Ezekiel. So it's going to be something very different. We have to define then how we're going to continue. And we are hoping and praying that everybody is having a wonderful week, a proper day of rest, having the energy, renewing everything that you need. And we are expecting that you and your families, we have read that some of you are asking for prayers for your family members, and it's always like that. And we can imagine that not only inside your family, but it's in the entire family of YaHuWaH. We have to be conscious about every member of our family who is in the need, who is having some issues, and we can be there asking our Abba so he can send always his healing, maybe physically or spiritually, and we know that he's going to listen. So today I have talked a lot. You can continue.
No, you have said almost just a few words, but you did good. You did great. So, yeah, I think it's as Lillian said, we are completing today the book of Ezekiel. As I have been saying in the last few weeks, I think it's been a beautiful and a blessed journey so far. I think many things that the Abba has been giving some additional insights, and we praise him for that. I think, with everything going on in the world, going through the books of the prophets, it's such an important thing to do, because he is somehow reminding us about what is expected to happen in the last days. And we see some of those prophetic words given to these amazing servants of YaHuWaH so long ago. It's becoming a reality in our days. And that should give us, an additional hope and expectation that we are living in those days where we will see the second coming of Mashiach with our eyes. And that should be our prayer, our daily prayers, to be found worthy, to be alive on those days, to be found worthy, to see with our own eyes how Yahushua is coming on the clouds, how everything he said from the very beginning, from Bereshit onward, is becoming a reality, and how he's coming in order to establish finally order out of chaos, real order out of chaos here on earth. And it's so much needed. We know about that. We know that the nations of this world have been, trying to push forward their systems, trying to put some order, some of them trying to put some chaos. It's a kind of mix. It's like the Tower of Babel, a confusion, whole confusion. And we only know that the only one able to put real order is the same one that created everything, the one that he created and brought order out of chaos, out of darkness, as we see written in the first book, in the first chapter of our scripture. It is written that, the year was dark and full in chaos, disorder, void. And what YaHuWaH did through his word made flesh, Yahushua himself, is to bring order and to bring a beautiful creation. And this is exactly what he's going to do once again. And that should be our hope and expectation, that's going to happen soon. And we need to pray to be found worthy to see all that happen, to be active participant of all of that. And it's in my heart that if we continue being obedient to his word and to his ways, we are going to be blessed to be part of it. So, before I forget, we changed location. Once again, we are in the capital city of our country. And, every time we change configuration in the computer, we see some issues. So please let us know if you see something, if you are receiving the audio in the proper way. maybe the video is a little bit frozen because the
It's too
heat
hot.
here is so high
Yeah.
that the camera is somehow having some troubles, but it should work fine for the rest of the broadcast with this kind of robotic moves from our side. We are not AI, just in case. It's just we are the flesh and bone and blood, Leland and myself. But we are looking like robots if you see that this is becoming a little bit no flowing in the proper way. Because of that, looks and sound great. Thank you, DDK. So, as you said, we don't know. We will see what YaHuWaH wants us to do next. We should continue with the book of Daniel. Maybe it's the right time to do it because of everything that's going on. But we need to be obedient to YaHuWaH and to feel, what He's guiding us to do. So we'll let you know. Yeah, thank you for the comment. It could be because of the configuration that the voice is not matching up with the lips. But be patient with that. We will try to after this broadcast to try to fix it. If we do it now, we can mess everything up.
It's going to be worse.
Touch it. Yes. So good. We have named this portion. YaHuWaH is there. And this is exactly the way that this book is finishing. With this wording is the new name of Jerusalem. And we know that YaHuWaH is going to be there. And in the same way that we should know that YaHuWaH is here in our hearts in this temple, a temple that was built not by hand, was built directly by Him in the womb of our mothers. So, I don't know, unless you have something else to share, we should move on.
I don't know if I could share it now at the beginning or at the end. Well, maybe
I don't know what you want to share, so.
Yeah, I'm going to share with you some communication that I have with our sister Judy. She sent all her love and prayers for you, and that you can always keep her in your prayers, because that is the only way that she knows that he has a contact with the exterior side. Somebody last week was asking, I think, if she's able to see these videos. No, she's not able to see the videos, anything like that. But sometimes what I'm doing is I'm copy-paste some of your comments or some insights, and I'm sharing those with her. And I'm going to share a situation because it was kind of funny. During the week, at the beginning of the week, I received a couple of emails from her, and it was the two together. And that was kind of strange. And while I was reading them, at the beginning, the first one was telling me a story that she was very feeling upset because her Strong Concordance book was missing, and she was sure that somebody was taking that only to make her feel upset, and that she was asking me if we can pray about that so that the person who was taking that book can feel repented and give it back. And to maybe to try to find a solution so she can have it back, that book, because it's like a treasure for her with all the studies that she's doing and sharing with some of the people there. And then I continue reading the second one, and the second one says, please forget everything that I told you in my previous email. I feel so bad about my bad judging, because the immediate thought that I have when my book was missing was that somebody, and specifically somebody, was stolen it. And now I feel so guilty because I was like convinced that that person was doing wrong on me, and I have to pray about that. And that she was feeling bad. She was asking like our Father that if he can forgive her, and also in my case like me, because she was writing about that. But at the end I was feeling a kind of, okay, this is not only me, because sometimes I'm suffering because of the same. Because and I asked her, can I share this story with the family that we have on Shabbat? Because I think that maybe somebody else is going to feel connected with this situation. that sometimes when we are struggling, when we are having some issue, because I remember always my mom is having that problem. She said, it's like somebody is hitting something for me that I needed, and it's just to make me feel bad. And then when I'm not looking at it, it appears like woof, it's there, and it's in a place that I was looking around, and I don't know, it's like a joke or like a trick or something. And then I was telling her, you know what? To Judy, I was telling this. I remember once you were telling me this also, that we never have to jump into a conclusion of thinking about a situation, because maybe those what are at the end, they're kind of trials. They're situation where our spirit is being put to test. So, and I was thinking about that moment when YaHuWaH was telling to Cain, why your face is sad. You have to be ready and to be conscious that the sin is at the door, and the only purpose that it has is that it wants to devour you, to take over you. And then I remember the other scripture. The other scripture is saying in Hason, so it's the opposite book at Hason, it's YaHuWaH who is saying, I am at the door, I am knocking. And if you open that door, you are going to dine with me and I'm going to dine with you. So I found it so beautiful, this parallel. I don't know how I found those two. But then I was thinking about what is our first thought when we are dealing with a trial, with a complicated situation. Is going to be addressed to a bad situation, a bad feeling, a bad emotion, or we are going to choose to have mercy, maybe to just wait and see what is behind that situation, and then receive the shalom that is coming from YaHuWaH. And then I was telling to Judy, and while I was typing, I was telling her, and you know what? It's so funny because the first thing that you did, as soon as you realize about that, you took an action to correct this. And that action was send me a second email. So you are canceling what you were doing or what you were thinking. And I think that is what YaHuWaH is happy when we are doing the same. When we realize about a mistake that we have made, and as soon as we realize about that, we can make a correction. And we are again in our path, and we can continue our walking. And always is going to be triggered by a thought. And our thought is here, our foreheads, and our actions, our hand. And I was telling her, that's the mark that we are going to choose. We are going to choose the mark of the beast, that is the one that is coming like with Cain story, or we are going to choose the mark of YaHuWaH, the one that YaHuWaH is offering us, so we can open the door to him. So that's it. I wanted to share that with you, that no matter if sometimes we are having the same situation, but what is most important is that we can learn from that situation. And the next time, maybe it's not going to take us 5 minutes to react. Maybe it's going to take us 1 minute. Maybe it's not going to take it even 1 second, because we are not going to give the opportunity to the sin or to a bad thought to enter into our mind, into our hearts.
Good.
Yeah.
So we should not be quick to judge.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're so quick to judge, and the only one who can mess up with the thoughts and spirit is us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody else. And when we judge, we project, we put in others the situation. Actually, is us. And there is a saying that when we are the finger pointing, we're finger pointing with one finger, but there are 3 pointing to us, 3 fingers pointing to us. So yeah, we are the ones that are we are the doorkeepers of our temple, and if we are not good doorkeepers, we are opening the door for the enemy to get in and to bring those thoughts to our minds and messing up with everything, and we are not going to be good judges. And we have been studying all about this, that we are going to even judge messengers, the fallen angels.
Yeah.
So we need to be ready, and we need to be wise. We need to learn how to judge.
Yeah, at the end, the story, just for you to know, the book was just misplaced. But the good thing is that a lot of women there in the prison was helping and praying with her so she could find it again. So at least it was something good from everything. So
Yeah.
good story.
Good. So I think time to move on. Thank you for sharing that. I think it was, as I saw a comment from Corina, I think it was a timely message. So I think all of us, we need to be reminded of these kind of things, because you are not alone. We all failed in different levels or different timings on the same thing. So it's always good to have a reminder on what should be our attitude, and how we should conduct our lives, following the example of Mashiach, that he was not judging so quickly. He was analyzing everything and being guided, most importantly, being guided by the Ruach of Elohim, in order to be compassionate, but at the same time truthful. And he was not going to allow things to happen, evil things to happen, without saying a word. But at the same time, he was compassionate in order to understand the whole situation and to judge properly, and to bring a word of justice and a word of truth, and most importantly, the light of the righteousness of the kingdom of YaHuWaH. We need to follow his example. At the end, this is exactly what we need to do. We need to behave ourselves as Mashiach would do. So having said that, let me share this song with you, and then we will move forward to the portion.
לא שאותנו תיהר מפשענו, שרים אנו שיר אהבה. תיקן את דרכינו, ריפא את נפשנו, גילה לנו את פני האב. ועתה בואו אליו, נישא את קולנו, נשתח ולאדון, מלך עולם הוא גואלנו. אלינו ירד ממרום, והוא עכשיו לימינו של האב. ישוע עשה התמים, א' בת'. שרוקן את עצמו מכבוד, שרים אנו שיר אהבה. הלך אל הצלב בעד השמחה, לעשות רצונו של האב. ועתה בואו אליו, נישא את קולנו, נשתח ולאדון, מלך עולם והוא עכשיו לימינו של האב. ישוע עשה התמים, א' בת'. לכבוד אדוננו נחיה את חיינו, כל יום כמו שיר אהבה. נמות לעצמנו, כי במשיח קמנו איתו לתחייה. ועתה בואו אליו, נישא את קולנו, נשתח ולאדון, מלך עולם הוא גואלנו. אלינו ירד ממרום, והוא עכשיו לימינו של האב. שרים לו שיר אהבה, נשיר לו לעד, לעד. ואתה בואו אליו, נישא את קולנו, נשתחווה לעתו, מלך עולם, ובגואלנו, עלינו ירד ממרום, והוא עכשיו לבנו של העם. ישוע עשה התמיד, א' ות'. ישוע עשה התמיד, א' ות'.
Amen. Let's pray. YaHuWaH Elohim Sebaot, we give thanks to you in this day, in this set apart day, because of everything you do for us, for giving us once again the opportunity to spend this time in Shabbat with our brothers and sisters in different locations in this earth, your creation, where we have the desire of in our hearts to seek your face, to feed from your word, O YaHuWaH, from your truth, acknowledging and knowing that is in your word is when we find hope, expectation, and truth. Thank you, YaHuWaH, because you are providing the means to continue with these gatherings. And most importantly, YaHuWaH, because you are the one touching our hearts with the desire and the need to seek your face and to seek your truth. Thank you, YaHuWaH, because week after week, we can see your hand moving within us. We can see your hand and your wisdom being poured out in each one of us, in our hearts. And we praise you for that, because you are the one providing wisdom, understanding, and you are the one guiding our steps in this way of life through the power of your Ruach HaKodesh working in each one of us, establishing our steps, guiding us in this path, guiding us, O YaHuWaH, in the narrow path. So we are empowered and we are able to follow the steps of Yahushua, who is guiding us to your kingdom. We thank you, YaHuWaH, because in the middle of trials, tribulations, sometimes diseases, we know that you are with us. And even though that we are going through the valley of the shadow of death, we have nothing to fear, because it is written that you are with us. And we trust your word, because you are not a man to lie, because you are faithful and you are truthful. And what you said you will do it. And you do it, YaHuWaH. Because even though that sometimes we are not able to see it immediately, if we pay attention, we see how you answer our prayers. And we can feel and we can see how you are the one providing to our needs, each one of them. We thank you, YaHuWaH, for those times that we have blessings. And also we thank you, YaHuWaH, for those times that we have to go through trials. Because both of them are an opportunity to grow in experience and in the knowledge of your truth, to reveal what is really in our hearts. If we trust in you and we obey you, or if we don't. And we ask you, YaHuWaH, that every time that we go through trials, or every time that we are going through blessings, that there is humility in our hearts, so we can take advantage of those opportunities you are bringing to our lives. So to learn and to grow to the stature of Mashiach, to allow that man and that woman that you have purpose in your heart to flourish. So through our works, our actions, our attitudes, our words as well, YaHuWaH, we can shine your light in the midst of darkness. We pray in this moment, YaHuWaH, for those who are going through those trials, those affected by any type of disease. But Yahushua, we ask you, as you did it in your first coming, as you walk this earth, that you can extend your healing hand and touch them, bring restoration, bring health, and bring fullness of life. So we can praise our Father in heaven, because He is the one giving us that life and restoring health in each one of us. And those healings can serve as a testimony of who you really are, the Son of Elohim, and who is really our Father, the maker of the heaven and the earth. YaHuWaH, guide our steps in these last days, so we can see with the eyes of our spirit instead of the eyes of our flesh, so we can understand the times we are living, and we can act recognizing our identity in you as children of Elohim, not with fear, to the contrary, with hope and expectation, with joy for everything that's coming to this world, that even though that we have to go through trials and difficult times, at the end we'll see the Sun of Righteousness shining here on this world, and we will see, YaHuWaH, your order, how you are bringing order to this house, this world, this earth you have created. That order and that design you put together at the very beginning, you are doing it once again, bringing light as the first thing in the midst of an earth full of darkness. We want to participate, YaHuWaH, in that restoration, and we know that that light is the Or HaOlam, the light of the world, is Yahushua himself. That's the first things to appear, is Yahushua coming on the clouds to bring your light into the darkness of this world. And then you will bring all restoration and all creation once again, and we want to be there. We want to be part of those that are going to work together with Mashiach to restore all things to the righteousness of your kingdom and to the light of your kingdom. We ask you, YaHuWaH, that we are being found worthy to stand before the Lamb, before the King of Kings and Adon HaAdonim, because if that happened, because you have chosen us and you have opened the door for us to be part of your kingdom and your people. That's our hope, our expectation, YaHuWaH, that we can endure until the end, that we can learn how to be your children, small kids, small children, to learn how to imitate you, to learn how to make your heart glad, because we're following your instruction, being obedient to your word.
Thank you, YaHuWaH. We invite you to be here among us, to fill this place in our heart that belongs to you, to fill the place in this temple, our bodies, that belongs to you, that place you have created for the dwelling of your Ruach HaKodesh, that you can guide us in everything we are going to do today, that your Ruach speak to us and through us, so we can learn everything you have prepared for each one of us in this portion today. We thank you, Abba, for everything you do for us, but most importantly, for your love, your compassion, and your truth. We pray to you in this moment with a humble heart, trusting in you always, and we do it in the mighty name of your Son, Yahushua, your Messiah, our King and Savior and Redeemer. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so let me change the screen, and for those of you that maybe didn't heard at the beginning, we are having some issues with the camera because it's too hot here. So if you see that the video is not flowing properly, or you see some kind of detachment between our voice and our lips, is because of that. So be patient with that. It's important, the message, more than the technicalities.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me go to we are already in the chapter 47, and let's begin. Go ahead.
And he turned me back to the door of the house, and look, water was flowing from under the threshold of the house toward the east, for the house faced east, and the water was flowing from under the right side of the house, from the south of the slaughter place. And he led me out by the way of the north gate, and took me round on the outside to the outer gate facing east, and look, water trickling out on the right side. As the man went out to the east with the line in his hand, he measured 1,000 cubits, and he made me pass over into water to the ankles. And he measured 1,000 and made me pass over into water to the knees. And he measured 1,000 and made me pass over water to the loins. And he measured 1,000, a stream that I was unable to pass over, for the water had risen, water to swim, a stream that is not passed over. And he said to me, Son of man, have you seen this? And he led me and brought me back to the bank of the stream. When I returned, then look, along the bank of the stream were very many trees on one side and the other. And he said to me, These waters are flowing toward the eastern country and go down into the Arava, or the desert, and enter the sea, being made to flow into the sea, and the waters shall be healed. And it shall be that every swarming creature, wherever the stream goes, shall live. And there shall be very many fish, for these waters shall go there, and they are healed. And wherever the stream flows, all shall live. And it shall be that fishermen stand along it, from En-gedi to En-eglaim, being places for spreading their nets. Their fish is to be of the same kind as the fish of the great sea, very many. Its swamps and marshes shall not be healed, they shall be given over to salt. And by the bank of the stream, on both sides, grow all kinds of trees used for food, whose leaves do not wither and fruit do not fail. They bear fruit every month, because their water flows from the set-apart place, and their fruit shall be for food, and their leaves for healing.
Beautiful picture.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was thinking about three things that caught my attention. About, well, the water that is coming from that place, and that it's always telling us that water is coming from under the throne of YaHuWaH. And I remember when we have that blessing of visiting Israel, and there is this place that the water is running all the day, and it has never stopped from years and years. And I don't know, I still feel that it has something important and that is connected to that. And then when it says that somehow the water are going to be healed, and it's talking about the places, I cannot stop imagining that maybe it's going to be the Dead Sea, because it's going to arrive, the water that is coming from this other stream is going to arrive there, and somehow it's going to bring healing. So it's going to be a lot of fish and creatures and a lot of more of the creation of YaHuWaH. And it's saying that their fishermen are going to be spreading their nets. And I was thinking, when Yahushua was telling Peter, Kepha, and his brother, and he was giving the instruction to them when they were in the lake, and he was telling them, throw your nets, and as you are doing with this, with the fish, but then you're not going to be fishermen of fish anymore. You're going to be
Become fisher of men.
Fisher of men. So I think that is also having a kind of a resemblance about how people are going to be healed at the end with the water that is coming from the place, from the place that YaHuWaH has chosen, that is under his throne, how his Ruach is going to heal the whole creation, that it doesn't matter where we are located, at the end he is going to reach those who maybe are not having life, but he's going to resurrect them somehow. He's going to make them alive, give them an opportunity of living again through his word, through his Ruach. I was thinking about that. And the other thing that caught my attention, it was how every time that he was walking a distance, how he was entering into a very deep place.
You know, I don't know why I just remembered on a scene of a movie. I think it was one of a movie of Noah. And in that movie, I know, but I needed to do it.
Yeah.
Sorry for that. In that movie, I remembered in that scene there is a water that is flowing and going to everywhere. I think it's coming from the place that Noah had to build the ark, and where this water was flowing, everything began to flourish. You know, trees began to grow, and actually those trees became the material being used to build the ark. And most probably I remember that scene because this is what I imagine what's going to happen. No, I was just taking a look what is written here in the verse 9, and it shall be that every swarming creature, wherever the stream goes, shall live. So, and there shall be many fish, for this water shall go there, and they are healed. So I think it's not only the waters that are going to be healed. I think everything, you know, around this river is going to heal. That's why we see, you know, trees in each one of the sides of the river, trees that are going to grow, and we know that trees needs water. Then most probably these type of trees are going to need the water in order to produce the fruit and the leaves for healing of the nations. We know that this is so connected to the book of Revelation. And it is true that this is going to happen physically. There is no doubt that YaHuWaH will bring healing to the land, the piece of land that he promised to Abraham as an inheritance for him and his descendant. He's going to provide the healing. And it's beautiful to see. You know, I remember you when we went in those trips to Israel, and we were going through the desert. You saw you saw a sign in the route beside the Dead Sea, and you saw Kidron. And you asked me, I didn't know back then, you asked me, could it be that this is the same Kidron Valley that is the one coming from Jerusalem? And I remember we asked, and they told us, yes, it's connected. The same Kidron Valley that is down there from the city of Jerusalem goes till the desert and goes in order to directly to the Dead Sea. So from a geographic point of view, even though that we know that the geography is going to change as we have been seeing in these portions, YaHuWaH already created everything that when this river will come from that place, will go to the Dead Sea, and it's going to provide a healing. And so is so beautiful at the same time is that to the Dead Sea we see the Jordan River also flowing to the Dead Sea. And the Jordan River is coming from the north of Israel, is going through the lake Kinneret, is the Sea of Galilee, and is going out of the Sea of Galilee, going south until it touches the Dead Sea. But even though that is coming from the Sea of Galilee, it's not powerful enough to say so in order to bring healing to the waters of the Dead Sea. But this river that is going to come directly from the throne of YaHuWaH in Jerusalem is going to be such a powerful water, living water, that is going to provide physical healing to those water. And you know, something that also came to my mind when you were explaining this is that salt is so necessary. It's so important, you know, for many functions of even of the body. You know, without salt, our body is not going to have the necessary minerals and electrolytes in order to function properly. And even Mashiach said that we are the salt of the earth. And that's an important hidden message somehow about how necessary we are in this world. If the salt is not here, something is not going to work in the society and in this world. Is exactly what we see happening. But with this picture, we see the Dead Sea being full of salt, and because of that, nothing lives over there and needs healing.
Yeah.
So what I see in this hidden message is that everything needs to be in the proper balance.
Yeah.
So when we have too much of one thing, we are out of balance. And basically, this is not what YaHuWaH is looking for. In this case, he's bringing, you know, this sweet water, this powerful water, in order to bring the right balance to this world. And
can I add maybe a scripture, a quote, a scripture that is in Melachim Bet? It's in Melachim Bet, the number 2, and it's in the verse 21, because it was, I had written in when we were reading that as a reference, and it says, and he went out to the source of the water and threw salt in there and said, thus said YaHuWaH, I have healed this water, no longer shall death or barrenness come from it. And it's like you said, when there is something that is in balance, salt is going to bring also healing. Mm-hmm. And we know that for some wounds, you need some salt. And even your body is providing that when you have all this healing process, is apporting a lot of sodium there and everything. So how everything is connected, because when we read this, it says that the Dead Sea is going to have life, but it's going to still keep in marshes, and in some places, still is going to be salt there, because you have to need it in a place.
Here in the 11,
yeah,
in verse
in the
11.
11, yeah.
So yeah, he said keeping,
yeah.
the sea is going to be healed, so it's going to be sweet,
yeah.
but there is still going to be salty waters over there, because it's also necessary.
Yeah, yeah.
So it is true that this is going to happen physically, and yeah, I remember what you said. For me, it was so impressive when I saw for the first time this water that is coming from the bottom of the earth, that is running and running and running and running all the time, And the tour guide was telling us that it's been running since always, since the time of Abraham, and maybe even before. And it continues, bringing water to the earth, and you can see this it's flowing rapidly.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, it's a good amount of water, and we see, that's the fountain that is going to be somehow notching and gushing the water, as I imagine, like in the wilderness with the rock of Horeb. When we see the scriptures written in not only in Torah, also in the book of Tehillim, that is saying that the water was so abundant that it created a kind of a lake, and rivers were flowing from that big rock in the desert. Similarly, is going to happen here, and I think this is a beautiful picture, because that rock, that is written in the book of Hebrews, it was Mashiach. And in the same way that that picture, that the rock was Mashiach and the water was flowing from that rock, flowing from Mashiach, is exactly the picture we will see at the end, where it's going to be the throne of YaHuWaH in Jerusalem from the temple, and the water is going to flow once again to provide healing to to the land and healing to the waters. And I think I saw a comment here is that is so beautiful. Maybe it was Camila, that healing is coming all the time. Always is coming from Him, from YaHuWaH, by His Word made flesh, by YaHuWaH. And even though that this is a physical healing, a physical water, we can understand that this is also a spiritual picture of the Ruach of Elohim. And it's just a matter for us to remember this conversation that YaHuWaH had with the Shomeroni woman, the Samaritan woman, in the well that was dug by Yaakov. Is that he was saying, if you ask me, I will give you water, living waters that are not, you are not going to be thirsty anymore. So it's a water that is bringing healing, and it's coming from who? It's coming from YaHuWaH. It's coming from the temple itself, from the dwelling place, from the throne. It's coming from the King. It's coming from YaHuWaH Himself. And that's why, every time that we think on the end times, and when we think YaHuWaH coming on the clouds, He's bringing healing to His land, and He's going to start over with Israel. He's reuniting Israel, because Israel had a beautiful purpose from the very beginning, is to become a nation of priests. And I think we talked about this some time ago, what it means to be a priest and a king, because we are a royal kingdom, a priest, a kingdom of priests. Priest to judge, to bring judgment and truth, priest to guide the people in the ways of YaHuWaH, in the truth of YaHuWaH. And if we connect this with what is written in the book of Yeshayahu, Isaiah, in the book of Micah, that it says that the nations will flow to the big and great mountain of YaHuWaH, because they will say, let's go out to the mountain of YaHuWaH so He can teach us His ways, because the word will come from Jerusalem and the Torah will come from Zion. So what it means is that He's reuniting Israel, He's healing Israel, He's putting Israel together in order to fulfill that purpose, to bring healing to this world, to teach and guide the people of these nations, of the nations and this world, in the true way of YaHuWaH. Somehow is bringing these living waters of the Ruach of Elohim through Israel, through us, in order to bring healing to those waters that need to be healed.
And in Hason or Revelation, the 22nd is mentioned that in the first two verses. In the first and He showed me a river of water of life, clear as crystal, coming from the throne of Elohim and of the Lamb. And in the middle of its street, and on either side of the river, was the tree of life, which bore 12 fruit, each tree yielding its fruit every month. Like the other said, that kind of fruit tree was going to be there. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. So it's the time of healing, the complete healing.
And we see in the prophecy of the book of Zechariah exactly the same thing. Let me see what it is. Always I forget. Where? Here in the 8. And it shall be, and in that day it shall be that the living waters flow from Jerusalem, half of them toward the eastern sea, and half of them toward the western sea, in summer as well as in winter. And YaHuWaH shall be sovereign over all the earth. In that day there shall be one YaHuWaH, and his name one. We know when all these things are going to happen. And it's our belief it's going to happen really soon. So physical interpretation, spiritual interpretation. That's why, if we allow the Ruach of Elohim, those living waters that are coming from our inner being, from our belly, those are going to provide healing. First, spiritual healing that are going to be manifested also in physical healing. No, we should wait for this physical fulfillment of the word of YaHuWaH as it is written in all these prophecies, because it's going to be a beautiful moment. But we should not wait for the spiritual manifestation that is going to be a physical manifestation if we allow the living waters of the Ruach of Elohim to flow through us to bring healing to our brokenness, to bring healing to our emotions, our thoughts, our minds, our hearts, to bring order and cleansing to this body, to this temple.
Yeah, in the same manner that we have received that kind of healing, we can be those instruments so others can look for that too. Maybe they don't realize that through their own experiences, maybe they are living some difficult moments, but if we can conduct them, their thoughts, and tell them that we have the doctor of doctors, that one that has all the medicine in this world, that is more powerful than anything because he is the source of life, that they're going to find him and he's going to provide that healing that they are needing, even though they don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Thus said the Master YaHuWaH, this is the border by which you inherit the land, according to the 12th tribe of Israel, 2 portions for Joseph, and you shall inherit it, each one the same as his brother. For I lifted my hand in an oath to give it to your fathers, and this land shall fall to you as your inheritance. And this is the border of the land on the north, from the great sea, the way of Hethlon, as one goes to Sedad, Hamath, Berotat, Sibrayim, which is between the border of Damasek and the border of Hamath, Hatzar Hatikon, which is on the border of Havran. And the border shall be from the sea to Hatzarenan, the border of Damasek, and on the north, toward the north, is the border of Hamath. This is the north side. And the east side is from between Haran and Damasek and Gilad, and the land of Israel, the Yarden. From the border to the eastern side of the sea, you are to measure. This is the east side. And the south side, toward the south, is from Tamar to the waters of Meribah by Kadesh, along the Wadi to the great sea. This is the south side toward the south. And the west side is the great sea from the border to the point opposite Hamath. This is the west side. And it shall be that you divide it by lot. And you shall divide this land among yourself according to the tribe of Israel. And it shall be that you divide it by lot as an inheritance for yourself and for the strangers who sojourn in your midst and who bear children among you. And they shall be to you as native born among the children of Israel. With you they have an inheritance in the midst of the tribe of Israel. And it shall be that in whatever tribe the stranger sojourns, there you might give his inheritance, declares the Master YaHuWaH.
Even though that we don't have all the information about the names of the places that he's mentioning here for the borders of the land of Israel, somehow we can assume or we can understand that this describing somehow the same limits and the same borders that we know already. Is not bigger than as some people say. We don't know what's the plan of YaHuWaH later on. He's going to increase the piece of land, considering the promise to Abraham that is what was going to come from the Nile River to the Euphrates. Maybe that's going to be a second moment. We don't know. Yahushua will reveal all things in the proper time. And so I think the borders at least described for this division of the land is similar to what we know so far already. The beautiful thing here is about the promise to the Gentiles, to the nations. It's like this mixed multitude that came out of Egypt in the first Exodus. They became part of the nation of Israel. They were standing in Mount Sinai, also listening to the words of YaHuWaH speaking from the cloud of the darkness, and with the sound of the shofar, and this big mountain trembling when YaHuWaH was saying the 10 words. Was a mixed multitude. So the story is repeating again, and we see the compassion of YaHuWaH, that he's always opening the door for not only the bloodline descendant to be part of his people, also for the strangers, the sojourners that wants to become part of his people. And even though that we don't know, because YaHuWaH is able to do many things, we don't know that maybe throughout generations in our DNA, in our bloodline, maybe there is blood that coming from one of the 10 tribes. We don't know. We will know in the future, most probably. But even if we don't have that type of blood, because, and why I'm saying this, remember that through Ephraim is coming the fullness of the nations. And maybe this was the plan of YaHuWaH in order to mix Ephraim with the nations, in order to bring part of that blood to the Gentiles. But the good promise that even though that maybe we don't have that bloodline, we have also the blessing from YaHuWaH, that is such a blessing that is up to the nations, the Gentiles that decide to join Israel, to decide where they are going to live. Because it is said in the verse 23, and it should be that in whatever tribe the stranger sojourns, there you give him his inheritance. So they are going to receive, the nations are going to receive also a reward in the land of Israel. They are going to become part of this royal nations of priests and kings, because they decided to follow the Elohim of Israel. And that's why, we need to hold fast to the promises that if we endure until the end, we are going to be part of those being called and chosen to be part of the great nation that YaHuWaH chose for a purpose. This is something that when people talked about Israel, about the chosen people, they take it in the wrong way, because when we choose something, is because we want to do something special with that. It's not only this going to become my precious treasure, it's because I have chosen something for something special. So when we talk about the chosen people, it's because they are going to be assigned with a special task. And what's the task? Is exactly what we talk about. We have a responsibility to bring the light and to bring the truth of the word of YaHuWaH to others. So it's not like, these special people and nobody can touch it. For sure, YaHuWaH will bring protection to his people. Why? Because that people needs to fulfill a special task. That's why it's so important that we begin with the special task and the special assignment now that we are in the wilderness of the people, because later on, when we are in the land, for sure we are going to have rest and we are going to have the reward. But it's going to be like Adam in the Garden of Eden. he needed to take care of the garden anyways. It wasn't just to rest and to be lazy all the time. No, he had a task to do. But he was with enjoying that task, with joy in his heart. It's going to be exactly the same thing for us. So now is the moment to learn. Now is the moment to do things, because later on is the moment to apply all the knowledge that YaHuWaH is bringing to us, to our lives.
To till the land.
Yes. Something else?
No.
No. Let's see the most.
And is it?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, now it's
Yeah.
okay.
Now it's working again. Okay, go ahead.
And these are the names of the tribes, from the north and along the way of Hethlon at the entrance of Hamath to Hatzarenan, the border of Damasek northward by the side of Hamath, from its east side to its west side, Dan 1. And by the border of Dan from the east side to the west, Asher 1. And by the border of Asher from the east side to the west, Naphtali 1. And by the border of Naphtali from the east side to the west, Manasseh 1. And by the border of Manasseh from the east side to the west, Ephraim 1. And by the border of Ephraim from the east side to the west, Reuben 1. And by the border of Reuben from the east side to the west, YaHuWaH 1. And by the border of YaHuWaH from the east side to the west is the contribution.
Continue.
See? Which you offer up 25,000 in width and in length the same as one of the portion from the east side to the west, with the set apart plates in its midst.
The contribution that you offer up to YaHuWaH is 25,000 in length and 10,000 in width. And of this is the set apart contribution for the priests. On the north, 25,000, and on the west, 10,000 in width. And on the east, 10,000 in width, and on the south, 25,000 in length. And the set apart place of YaHuWaH shall be in its midst. For the priests, the son of Zadok, who are set apart, who did guard my charge, who did not go astray when the children of Israel went astray, as the Levites went astray. So this contribution shall be to them, from the contribution of the land, a most set apart place by the border of the Levites. And alongside the border of the priests, the Levites have 25,000 in length and 10,000 in width. Its entire length is 25,000 and its width 10,000. And they do not sell any of it, nor exchange it, nor transfer this best part of the land, for it is set apart to YaHuWaH. And the 5,000 in width that is left, facing the 25,000, is for common use by the city, for dwellings and open land, and the city shall be in its midst. And these are its measurements: the north side 4,500, and the south side 4,500, and the east side 4,500, and the west side 4,500. And the open land of the city shall be to the north 250, and to the south 250, and to the east 250, and to the west 250. And the rest of the length alongside the contribution of the set apart portion is 10,000 to the east and 10,000 to the west. And it shall be alongside the contribution of the set apart portion. And its increase shall be food for the workers of the city. And the workers of the city from all the tribes of Israel shall till it. The entire contribution is 25,000 by 25,000 cubits, 4 square. You are to offer up the set apart contribution with the possession of the city. And the rest is for the prince, on one side and on the other of the set apart contribution and of the possession of the city, facing the 25,000 of the set apart contribution as far as the eastern border, and westward facing the 25,000 as far as the western border, alongside the portions of the prince, And the set apart contribution and the set apart place of the house shall be in its midst. So the possession of the Levites and the possession of the city are in the midst of what belongs to the prince, between the border of Yehuda and the border of Benjamin. It belongs to the prince. Maybe we can make some comments here before we finished. So, this goes along to the previous portion, as we said, where it is described the measurements of the temple and the city. Here we see how the land is going to be distributed, and it's going to be different from how was it distributed in the very beginning after the first Exodus. Now he's given, and it's described from the north border to the southern border, how the land is going to be equally divided from north to south.
Yeah.
It's my belief that it's not going to be equally divided from east to west. Because, if we see the geography actually of the land of Israel, it's coming from the Jordan somehow till the Mediterranean Sea, and it's not a square. So it's
like
got a different shape.
Yeah, like a diamond or something like that.
But what is true is that basically the land from north to south is going to be equally divided in 12, and the borders of the east and the west is going to be the same for each one of the tribes. And the beauty of this is that in the middle of this land is going to be the contribution that is going to be specifically, and I think we talked about that last week or the previous one, is that now the priests, the Levites, are not going to receive an inheritance among the tribes. There is a special place, and Yahweh is bringing a special order to his land. It's going to be a fulfillment of what's been his desire since always, to be in the midst of his people. So he's given this special piece of land to the prince, and this is a terumah, a contribution from the inheritance that YaHuWaH is giving to Israel. And even though, as I said last week, it belongs to him, he's asking them to give up this portion to him. It's a kind of terumah, it's a kind of
Retribution somehow.
yes, it's a kind of maaser as well. Maaser is tithing, or terumah is contribution. So to give back to YaHuWaH a portion of it. And it's a beautiful picture because somehow it shows what's been in the heart, the plan of YaHuWaH since always. That somehow he's also inheriting part of the same reward together with Israel. And how he's going to receive an inheritance together with Israel, because the prince is going to be the owner of all that place. And we know that prince is the king, is the melech, is Yahushua. And you see YaHuWaH prepare this since the beginning. That's why he shows David. And through David, that is coming from Yehuda, he brought Mashiach. And Mashiach, Yahushua, and YaHuWaH are one. So somehow through Yahushua, that is part of Israel, he's receiving an inheritance as well in the land, and he's decided, I'm going to be in the midst. And that's why when we see in the book of Revelation that, the New Jerusalem is coming down, is going to be exactly in that place among the land and among the tribes of Israel. And it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful picture. So, he's giving this piece of land specifically to the priests. They're going to live there. He's giving a special place for the Levites. They're not going to be wandering all over the land of Israel. They're going to be living in the same place, being protected by the king. The city is not going to be messed up as we see today, all together between the temple and the city and the people. No, there's going to be order, a specific place, a specific location for specific things. And the beautiful thing is that, it is written that the part of the city people from all the tribes of Israel
Want to
are going to be there. So when we think in the reward for the end times, even though that the tribes of Israel are going to receive the inheritance in the same way that we see being described in this chapter, we see that some people from the tribes of Israel, from all the tribes of Israel, are going to be dwelling in that place. It came to my mind about the 144,000, because they are coming from all the tribes of Israel. Could it be that they are going to be the one there? Could it be that they are going to be part of the priest? Could it be that they are going to be part of the Levites? We don't know. What we know, being just reading this amazing prophecy and this amazing revelation, that from all the tribes of Israel, there is going to be a special group of people that they are going to receive this amazing reward of living so close to the temple and living in the place that belongs to the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful moment, a beautiful place. So it continues, says in the verse 23, as for the rest of the tribes from the east side to the west side, Benjamin 1, and by the border of Benjamin from the east side to the west side, Shimon 1, and by the border of Shimon from the east side to the west side, Yisachar 1, and by the border of Yisachar from the east side to the west side, Zebulun 1, and by the border of Zebulun from the east side to the west side, Gad 1. And by the border of Gad, on the south side toward the south, the border shall be from Tamar to the waters of Meribah, by Kadesh, along the Wadi to the great sea. This is the land which you divide by lot as an inheritance among the tribes of Israel. And these are their portions, declares the Master YaHuWaH. And these are the exits of the city, the gates of the city according to the names of the tribes of Israel. On the north side, measuring 4,500. The three gates northward, one gate for Reuben, one gate for Yehuda, one gate for Levi. And on the east side, 4,500. Three gates, one gate for Joseph, one gate for Benjamin, one gate for Dan. And on the south side, measuring 4,500, three gates, one gate for Shimon, one gate for Yisachar, one gate for Zebulun. On the west side, 4,500, with their three gates, one gate for Gad, one gate for Asher, one gate for Naphtali. All around, 18,000 cubits. And the name of the city from that day is YaHuWaH is there. YaHuWaH Shammah. So for me, in closing, it's YaHuWaH is such a good architect, engineer, and many other titles, because he has his plan, and he's a good planner as well, an awesome planner. He has everything planned from the very beginning, even how he's going to divide the land, and even giving the measurements in this amazing revelation to Ezekiel. Even the gates of the city. This is such much in correlation to what is written in the book of Revelation about New Jerusalem, the foundations of the city somehow being connected to the disciples and being connected to the forefathers, the tribes of Israel. I think there is a purpose in everything, in the clothing of the Kohen HaGadol, that somehow is representing the 12 tribes as well, in many aspects. With the city, I think, we are going to be so amazed when we understand the connection to all those things and how it's bringing so much truth to this entire world, the harmony of everything he had created, that maybe we are unable to comprehend now. But at the moment he's opening our understanding, is going to be a wow moment to understand the magnificence of everything he had created from the very beginning and the purpose of everything. in order to bring harmony to this world. And finalizing this chapter, saying that the city is going to be YaHuWaH is there. Somehow, I do imagine the nations saying this. This is a phrase for the nation. The nations that are going to still live on those times, they're going to say, YaHuWaH is there. I brought this passage, a minute ago, as it is written in the book of Micah and the book of Isaiah. The people, the nations of the world saying, let's go up to the mountain. Why? Because YaHuWaH is there. YaHuWaH is there. Let's seek his face so he can teach us his ways and we can learn how to serve him. I think, I just can imagine how beautiful it's going to be that moment. And as I was saying in the prayer, even though that we have to go through difficulties, as we see day after day happening in this world, even though that we have to go through even more the difficult times and trials in the days ahead, the picture that is coming at the end is going to be such beautiful that is bringing peace and joy to our hearts. The other day, Lilian and I, we were walking here near this place, and we were talking how it's going to be during the kingdom of Yahushua. What is going to be the type of technology that is going to be available? How things are going to work? Are we going to have transportation? We are so used to the way of living we have today that it's so difficult to imagine what's going to happen. I think none of us had the answer. The only thing that we can know, and I was sharing with you in that conversation while we walked, is this thought that came to my mind many years ago when I was meditating on how humankind has been able to create so many things and to have the level of progress we have so far in this modern way of living. And I was thinking back then, it's amazing to see what we have been able to achieve as a humanity being far away from YaHuWaH. How much more we can achieve being close by to him. So even though that we don't know how it's going to look like, the only thing we know that since he's in control of everything, and even though that humankind has been able to create all these things somehow is coming from him. What's going to happen during the millennial kingdom of Yahushua? That things are going to be in harmony to his world, to his creation, to his heart. So if we are amazed of things that we have been achieved as humankind today, just be prepared, because I think we are going to be even more amazed of things that we are going to be able to achieve. And I do believe that we are going to have an important role on all of that. In the same way that he was choosing special people to create the things of the tabernacle, why not? Maybe we are going to have the capacities, and he's going to give us the capacity in order to bring so many things to this world, in order to lead people in the true way of YaHuWaH. Is not going to be only teaching the ways and the righteousness of the kingdom. Maybe we are going to be an active participant of bringing the new way of life during the millennial kingdom of Yahushua. I think he's coming with such a recipe under the sleeve of his robe that is going to be something so amazing for all of us and for the entire world to see. And even though that the anti-Mashiach will try to shine with his wisdom and being a smart guy and bringing so many things to this world that the people of the world are going to be amazed, it's not comparable at all to what Mashiach Yahushua will bring to this world, together with the order and the righteousness and the truth and the peace and the love and the joy he's going to produce within.
Good.
You are out of words.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just imagining that maybe then I'm going to say, well, I can keep this then. maybe he's going to surprise me with the things that we could keep or not, how we are going to realize, and maybe we were judging everything under the not the correct crystal. Sometimes maybe he's going to let us know everything when it's apporting to his kingdom, when it's being there in the correct way or not, like things in the temple, when they're being used for his purpose or not.
That's true.
Mm.
Is to flow with his the desire of his heart. I think is going to be that time is going to be something. As it is written in the book of Revelation, there's no more tears. It's going to be joy in the heart. He's going to provide complete healing, beginning from his people and beginning from within. And since everything begins in the spiritual, this is exactly what he's going to heal first. And that's why, I do believe that he's going to bring the healing from within and then in the external. And the same thing is happening in the world. When we talk about the world, is what is the internal is Israel. And as soon as Israel is healed, he's bringing healing to the rest. And it's true, I do believe it's going to be such a beautiful time when we see everything that's going on in the world, when we see people so much in confusion, in terms of the ideologies they're following, in terms of the faith they have or the no faith they have, or the faith they don't have. It's sad, Sometimes we would like to take the eyes of the people and open it so big, so for them to see, but it's not up to us. That's going to be a beautiful moment because everything, Satan is not going to be around, darkness is not going to be around. It's basically to start building everything from scratch, is to restore things. In one word, I don't remember, I think it's in the book of Isaiah or Jeremiah, we are going to be called the repairers of the breaches, of the holes on the wall. And this is exactly, what's going to be the beautiful things. It's not going to be darkness. It's not going to be opposition. It's not going to be trials. Basically, we are going to have the ground prepared in order to bring restoration. Is to bring the message of restoration and hope, and the people is going to be good soil. They're going to be ready to receive the seed of the kingdom, and it's going to be much easier for them because they're going to be able to physically see the kingdom that is flourishing. They're going to be asking themselves where this bright light is coming from. I want to be there. And they will realize that that light is shining so bright and it's coming from a specific place. They will like to go there. It's like when we see a rainbow. Sometimes we wish to see where it begins and where it ends. It's going to be something very similar, but in this case, people are going to be able to reach the place, the source of that light. So they will have, the physical also evidence and the testimony that Yahushua himself is going to be there. The testimony in order to understand that the words they are going to receive are words of truth, are words that are bringing healing and restoration. Words that are bringing, righteousness and hope. That's why, all those people are going to be tested at the end when the devil is being released from his chains. But, during the period of time, they're going to enjoy to see with their own eyes. It's going to be such a blessing for all of us that we are going to be able, but also for the nations that are going to remain during the period of time, to be able to see Mashiach. This great light, as it is written, in the prophets, also in the Brit Hadashah, those places of darkness, like Zebulon and Naphtali, to see a great light being shining It's going to be YaHuWaH once again shining, but not only those places, he's going to shine in the entire world. There's not going to be more conspiracy or theories that was YaHuWaH going to India? Was YaHuWaH coming to the Americas? There's not going to be doubt because he's going to own everything. And most probably he's going to visit places. Most probably we're going to visit places as well. How are we going to have an airplane? I don't think so. We're going to be transported by the Ruach of Elohim.
Maybe he's going to say, you don't need it anymore.
He's going to give us his special white cloud in order to go from one place to the other. We don't know.
I was thinking about what it was written about Ezekiel when he was saying that he was walking in some distance and the water was increasing and increasing. And I think that is going to happen with the people who is going to be from the nation, from all the places that they need the healing at that time. So as far as they're working and they're approaching to the throne, they are going to arrive to a point that they are going to be, immersed into the water. So anyway, they are going to be baptized into the water. So it's going to be something beautiful. So at one moment or another, we have to be baptized again.
Nothing will change. I think he established baptism.
Like a cleansing.
Yes, we need to go through cleansing. And we need to realize, even though that is kind of crazy to say, but this is the way that is being described, is my current understanding, that there's going to be two type of human beings during the millennial kingdom of YaHuWaH. Those with corruptible body, like the ones we have now, and a special nation, his chosen one, that are going to be with uncorruptible bodies, because they are going to be part of the first resurrection or transformation of the body. So it's like we are going to have a humans and human 2.0. The real human 2.0, is basically a superhuman. So even the people, the nations, that are going to have that testimony as well. They are going to
lead that experience that we have lived.
So the people that will remain, they will need to go through the same process we went through. To receive the word, the cleansing to the spirit, the cleansing of the accepting, the words of Mashiach in order to be part of the kingdom, the cleansing through the water, the cleansing through the spirit of Elohim. The message will be the same. The good news that we are going to bring are going to be the same, the good news of the kingdom of YaHuWaH. But it's going to be much easier because the people will know, because the kingdom is going to be established here on earth from Jerusalem. They will know what's the kingdom we're talking about, because they are going to see it maybe with their own eyes. They're going to hear the people talking about the same. That's why, the reward we are going to receive by believing now that we are not able to physically see is going to be even greater, because we believe in Mashiach. We believe in his promises, not even seeing with our eyes. I have such a respect and for the first disciples of Mashiach, because they did an amazing work. Because of their sacrifice, we are here, because they believe so much in what they receive that they even gave their lives in order to bring the good news and to fulfill the mission, the commission given by Mashiach. But something that we need to realize as well, and it should be a credit for us to say it in some way, that they enjoy the blessing to see Mashiach with their eyes, to see the healings, to see the miracles. We have a credit in our favor, that we have not been able to see Mashiach with our physical eyes, but even though we believe in him, and that should give us joy in our hearts, that that's the blessing of YaHuWaH working in our hearts through His Ruach, that He is igniting our hearts to believe in things that sometimes we don't see. And I say sometimes, because sometimes as well, He's showing us His mighty power through miracles, through dreams, and through so many things. We are just needs to be attentive. And that's why, it's going to be such a beautiful moment when we are able to see Mashiach face to face, when we are able to see all of them, the disciples, the prophets of all, face to face. All the people we have been studying and believing for so long, is to see it in front of us, and we are finally able to see them face to face. So it's going to be a beautiful moment, and that's why, even though sometimes people can think that we are crazy by believing things that were written so long ago, things that we are not able to see and not able to explain, we need to keep it to the heart. And how we keep it to the heart is by remembering the transformation that we have been going through, that this is something that didn't happen out of the thin air. Something happened in our lives that I do believe is happening to all of you. It's the way that I feel it, something that I cannot explain. Why I went through a transformation from within that had impacts in my external world, and it was such suddenly that I cannot explain. When we remember that time and the transformation we went through, we can understand that is something bigger than us. There was an opportunity that was given to us because we just were seeking it. But even though that we took the first step to seek that opportunity, we cannot explain what happened. It was an invisible force, was the hand of YaHuWaH doing that transformation. And every time that we remember that time, every time that we bring to memory that process we went through, is going to reinforce the same feeling, the same emunah, the same faith. Because we are going to remember that it wasn't because of us, it was the mighty hand and the loving compassion of YaHuWaH working in my life, opening my eyes to His truth, opening my heart to His truth and His faithfulness. And that's going to give me the strength in order to endure until the end, even though I'm not able to see everything that I would like to see. It's just by bringing to memory, and we talked about this a long time ago, bringing to memory everything that YaHuWaH has done for us. When we're facing trials, tribulation, persecution, just bring to memory what we have received. I imagine the disciples doing exactly that. When they were being persecuted, they were bringing to memory those times that they enjoyed together with Mashiach. They were bringing the face of Mashiach to their memories. How Mashiach was speaking to them the truth, revealing the truth, and that was giving them the strength together with the power of the Ruach HaKodesh in order to endure so much terrible things, because they knew that everything was true, and they had an obligation, and they fulfilled their task and their assignments with joy, even though that externally maybe they were suffering, because they had something to hold fast. Is the experience, what they heard, and what they saw, what they felt, what they experienced. We have to do exactly the same. Even though we are not able to see, we have experienced so many things, and we cannot say, no, I have not experienced anything. We cannot say that, because as I said a minute ago, even though the transformation we went through is something we cannot explain, and that in itself is something, and it's something so powerful that the only one who was able to do this YaHuWaH, is the right hand of YaHuWaH. And if we just bring to memory that part, it's so powerful enough in order to give us the strength to endure until the end.
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
And we finished.
Yeah.
We thank YaHuWaH for giving us the blessing to go through the book of Ezekiel. You know, I think we have enjoyed so beautiful moments in this book. Beginning in the chapter 1 with the Ophanim and the Merkabah, it was a beautiful moment. And in so many other the parts that we saw here, you know, I remember when we talked many weeks ago, how in the life of Ezekiel we see that sometimes we don't need words to bring the message. It's just sometimes through our actions. You remember that? He was unable to speak for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And YaHuWaH was instructing him to do this, do that, do this, to
With
give
actions.
with actions,
With example.
through our works, what we do, our attitude, our works, we bring the good news. So we need to be so attentive on everything we say and everything we do, because with our entire self, we can bring the light of YaHuWaH to others. Good. So we will keep it till here. Thank you so much for joining us once again, for your support, your prayers, and your love. Keep praying for one another. And we hope to see you next week. We will see what the YaHuWaH is bringing to the heart of what to continue. And we will keep you posted with the news about what's going to happen. So keep enjoying your Shabbat. Thank you for joining us today. YaHuWaH be with you all. Shabbat Shalom. And see you next.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Shabbat Shalom.
הוא נתן לי את שפתיי, את שיריי ומילותיי, שא קולי אל אלוהי, תהילה לאדוני, תהילה לאדוני. הוא נתן לי את ידיי, בהן אביא לך ממימי, אשא כפיי אל אלוהי, אמך אזקף לאדוני, אמך אזקף לאדוני. הוא נתן לי את כל אלה, ובכל אלה אהלל אותו, בכל ליבי וכל נפשי וכל מאודי ארומם את שמו. נתן לי את רגליי, ושומר את צעדיי, וכשרוחו הטוב עליי, אקדיש מחול לאדוני, אקדיש מחול לאדוני.